guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We are your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is October 2017. You're living under a rock if you do not know what happened late in the evening on October 1st, which was the shooting in Las Vegas. We're going to bring you a massive amount of updates on that, but I think first, are we going to Catalonia?
Yeah, while everybody's filing in.
Everyone.
We are going to cover a few main stories and a couple. We're going to go to Germany today, where a German was speaking in the streets, and some Afghans said, "We're going to kill you."
Yeah.
We might even show you the fact that an ex-Muslim has who hates Christians, really hates them,
and is suggesting that the Christians on his channel that subscribe to him actually go and subscribe to Resistance Chicks, because we might be a little bit more up their alley.
And he plays some of our video, so that is...
And he uses some F-bombs. It's not complimentary, but we want to thank Britt Baza, for sending that to us. He's like, "Hey, gals, I don't know if you knew that this was there."
Quite interesting.
Yep.
But first, it was so interesting. Okay, so before this mass shooting, the whole world had eyes on Catalonia. Many people didn't even know what area of the world it was in.
It's in Spain, in case you were unaware.
The right side of Spain, if you're looking at a map. And this is a video of the people demonstrating against the police. That's so many people, dude.
That's a lot of people. I wonder if you guys can hear that. Let me know if you are having trouble hearing
Anybody
it.
speak Catalonian?
It's a lot of people, man. That's got to be all of the Catalonians. I'm not sure how many there are, but...
So I said, does anybody speak Catalonian? Because from what I understand, they don't necessarily speak Spanish. It's a mix of Italian, French, and Spanish. I also learned that the Catalonians are, as some of you put into the comments, ethnically different.
Yeah.
You and I wouldn't notice, but they are more from the maybe the Germanic areas, the France, Italian, so they're lighter skinned. And there's some racial tension there, which, you know, we grew up in a melting pot.
Yeah.
You know, half the people are like really tan and some people are really pale. And, you know, and I guess here it's kind of like in Japan, you can be 4 generations into being a North Korean or South Korean in Japan.
Yeah.
And they know who you are.
I know.
And like, we're like, "Hey, Asian men!" Right? So anyways, Nigel Farage laid down the smack in the EU.
Yes, he did. Nigel Farage. Once again, just to give you a little bit of a sneak preview, what he's going to do is he's going to blast the EU about the fact that this Catalonian referendum's, vote or whatever went forward, and nobody in the EU is talking about it. The beatings of the police officers happened, and nobody in the EU is talking about it.
And I really appreciate Nigel's stance, and it's exactly where we stand. Like, we have any say, okay? We don't.
Zero say on this.
And he has a lot to say. I mean, it's part of the EU. He says, regardless of whether this particular vote was legal or constitutional, people have a right to express themselves
without being beaten.
So if people really wanted to go to a voting booth or an area, you actually can't stop people from assembling in an area. Does that make sense? So let Nigel say it better than we can.
Monkey.
Don't eat it, whatever you're pulling out of my hair.
It's a paint or something.
Per il gruppo Europa della Libertà della
Europe of the direct freedom and direct democracy, Mr. Farage.
The really important issue of
Okay, so whoever is always like the American translator is he like an earl from like the 18th century?
He's like 500 years old.
Exit. I think European citizens, those that do take any interest in what happens here, will be stunned that Mr. Juncker comes here for his one appearance in the Strasbourg session this week, and there is absolutely no mention made of the dramatic events that have taken place inside a European Union member state that is allegedly a modern democracy. Now, one of the reasons that I One of the reasons that I always wanted Brexit was because
Hey, I'm going to pause it here. Now, I think I've heard this before, but just to let everyone know, Spain has a prime minister and a king.
I thought the system of lawmaking, whereby the Commission has the sole right to initiate legislation, was something that would in fact damage and in the end destroy any concept of national democracy. And yeah, I've called the European Union undemocratic, I've called it anti-democratic, but never, ever, in my fiercest criticisms here, did I think we would see the police of a member state of the Union injuring 900 people in an attempt to stop them going out to vote. Whether or not it was legal nationally for people in Catalonia to have a vote, surely people are allowed to express an opinion. We saw women being dragged out of polling stations
by their hair.
Old ladies with gashes in their forehead.
I thought I would go ahead and show you one of this lady is going to be known as the face of. Jeez, this reminds me of Nazi Germany. I have to tell you, it is quite insane.
The most extraordinary display. And what do we get from Mr. Juncker today? Not a dicky bird. In fact, previously we had
I want a dicky bird
must be maintained, and I think it is quite extraordinary to realise that this union is prepared to turn a blind eye. Can you imagine if the British police
This is a very good point.
A couple of Scottish National Party protesters, or if something happened against a pro-Brexit rally, you'd all be screaming blue murder. Indeed, the calls would be that the United Kingdom must go before the European Court of Human Rights, and yet with this, you don't even want to talk about it. And
Well said.
Knowing as I do, your advanced plans, 7 of you, member states here with your military police, your Euro gendarmerie force, all I can say once again is thank God we're leaving. Brexit was an act of liberation. It was a voice of national self-determination that cannot and will not be stopped. But through this negotiating process, I'm afraid from the start, you've treated us as if we're some kind of hostage. That unless we pay a ransom, unless we meet all of your demands...
Can you hear the booze in the background?
All of your demands, then you won't even have an intelligent conversation with us about trade heading on from here. There are no guarantees that whatever Mrs. May says or does, that you will ever, even when we've met your demands, that you will ever come to us and want to have a sensible trade agreement. And I have to say that it is sad, in fact it was pitiful, to see the British Prime Minister in Florence. I've heard you saying that she's been conciliatory, that she's been grown up. People are happy with what she said. Actually, Mrs. May, I'm sad to say, isn't worldly enough to recognise that when you face up to a bully, the one thing that you do not do is try to appease them. She's begging you to give her a transition period, and there's no guarantee that you will do it. So I do actually agree with the criticisms that I've heard around the room about the mixed messages coming out from the UK government. I just hope that in Manchester, the Conservative Party start to say in public what they're all saying to me in private, that she's a waste of space, she needs to go. We need a proper Prime Minister who says to Monsieur Barnier, OK, here's a deadline, here's a date, we work towards that date. If we can't reach a sensible deal on trade and everything else, then we are simply leaving and reverting to WTO rules. This charade cannot go on for year after year. After all, we voted Brexit.
Yeah. Very, very well said, Nigel.
We're calling time.
So Nigel Farage, again, when he gets in that European Parliament, something from all the good... Here's the thing. I'm sorry, going rabbit trails in my head. We fought a war against a corrupt king, but we didn't actually fight against English principles. Right. I want to make that clear. Our government is based on English principles. Right. Okay. You have the English common law. John Locke, William Blackstone, great minds. And actually, England was on its way out of the Dark Ages and the Middle Ages. I mean, the whole song. I know, did Jesus walk on Jerusalem? In England. Okay, I get it. I get your song. However, one particular line from these dark satanic hills.
Mills.
Okay, Mills. I'm sorry, Mills Hills. Okay, the Celts and even our people from Scandinavia worshiping Odin. People came out of Dark Ages where they sacrificed people. They sacrificed babies. We get our little Halloween from, and they killed cats. I mean, seriously, evolution, if there's a thing to it, mankind has evolved. And what I'm trying to get to is England has been a bastion for reformation and reforming oneself and becoming better, and better and better and better and better. And they're still rooted in the UK goodness,
right,
and tolerance and helping your fellow mankind. And we believe that it's because of the gospel of Jesus Christ. St. Patrick going over there to Ireland, preaching the gospel. And the further you get away from the gospel, in our opinion, the more you have people taking control. And so you have the European Union, and I really believe that the reason they didn't say anything about the violence is that they tolerate it because it is fascist.
They encouraged it. They were behind it. So of course they're not going to talk about it.
But if the UK had done this to its citizens, 900 people injured. These people were unarmed.
Right.
They were literally they weren't even throwing. I mean, you've got migrants throwing bombs out, and craziness, but they don't say anything to them. And the Catalonians were peacefully assembling. And
whether you agree that the vote should have taken place, whether it was legal or not, that's not the issue that we're talking about here.
The particular people. I'm going to go ahead and play a couple of these videos so that you guys can remember. We covered this on Sunday, whether you were with us or not. And
it's hard for me to watch, I have to be honest.
Now, remember, these aren't college kids taking over campus.
Right.
These aren't even Americans like the Bundys sitting on a Federal Reserve land. These are people just trying to vote. So we wanted to bring that up. And I also wanted to bring up what Spain's King Philip says. He calls it disloyalty, as Rajoy, which is their prime minister, Mariano Rajoy, says, is obviously behind this. And this Rajoy guy, I guess, is up in all kinds of corruption. King Philip says Spain living under grave moments for the country because of the Catalan crisis. King Philip says Catalan government seeking to illegally proclaim independence. King Philip says Catalan society today is fractured and divided. He also does kind of talk about, the unacceptable nature of, how the authorities handled it. He says these are difficult times, but we will get through them. These are very complex times, but we will push forward because we believe in our country and we feel proud of who we are. Blah, 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 blah.
We can't see that.
What do you mean you
reading?
can't see it?
It's
Because
white.
it's too bright?
Oh.
Interesting. All right. We can
So
move some
be
lighting.
more clear and more articulate.
Lose some lighting, huh? Too much lighting? Bad lighting?
Well, I think that webcam picks up a lot more light.
Oh, maybe we need
than
less light.
Our
That's kind of
old
cool.
setup. Well, next time you can just shoot me the article and I can pull it up and they can.
I'm always going to have tons of articles.
Well, we'll work on it.
I'm like, we're working
We're
through
working
things.
on it.
Okay, so I think I might have had some more things on the Catalonian. What do you want to call it? I don't even know what to call it.
Catalexit.
Catalan.
Just kidding. I think we can come up with something better.
So my favorite part of that was when Juncker didn't even bring a dicky bird. So next time, Juncker, bring your dicky bird.
So before we move on, while we're kind of...
I actually wanted to bring up... Go ahead. There's another little clip from... Go ahead.
Okay,
Here we go. I got it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so on our Brexit topic, okay, this is the clip I wanted to bring up. This is Stephen Wolfe, MEP. EU Parliament says sufficient progress has not been made on Brexit. Time to walk away, stop dancing to their tune, and end this charade. Are you ready?
Abraham Lincoln famously once said, you can fool some of the people all of the time. You can fool all of the people some of the time. But you can never fool all of the people all of the time.
I like that.
Well, the British people are no longer fooled that the EU want to negotiate a fair Brexit agreement or even negotiate at all. From Verhofstadt to Juncker, to Barnier and to Tusk, the message is clear. The EU will delay, damage and deny Brexit. When President Tusk says the UK can't have its cake and eat it, what he actually means is the EU wants its cake, our cake, the morning croissant, afternoon tea, and finishing it with taking a pound of Britain's economic flesh washed down with a glass of subsidised EU Chianti. As Shakespeare said, this England never did, nor never shall, lie at the feet of a proud conqueror. It's clear the EU will not change its tune, so it's time for the UK to walk away and end this charade. Thank you.
I think that there's some backbone coming up, and just like with Trump, there's going to be highs and lows, and I think you guys in the UK, I'm sensing with the new UKIP leadership, right. Just like we were dealt severe blow after blow after blow after right. blow with the Trump administration being surrounded by a swamp. Right. You guys were too, but you're coming up out of the ashes. It's the major underdog fights when Rocky gets hit down. I'm getting goosebumps. He gets knocked down to the mat several times. Right. But it's the person who has the most heart in the matter who will always win.
Agreed.
Okay? And in America, our heart is in it. Guess what? The left is going to give up because their heart isn't in it. They don't have a heart. And I'm not saying all people on the left, but come on, work with me. And the people who are Ramoners and the elitists in the EU, their heart isn't in the European Union. Their wallet is in the European Union. And you don't actually lay down your life for your wallet.
Yeah.
But you
Depending on who you are.
No, you don't because you'd rather live
than have money. Yeah.
Cowards.
Right.
Cowards will they will throw away millions of dollars just to live. And it's kind of like we see it on like all the end of the world movies where the cowards push the women over the side and take their spot or something. Yeah. The EU are the guys on the Titanic who put on wigs and dresses, right? I'm a woman, I'm going to get on the boat, I can't swim, right? And then the Brexiteers are the guys who, you know what, sink or swim, we're going to make it.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of you guys, and I want you to stick to your guns, and I want you to be excited, and I don't want you to lose heart. Because when you lose heart and you lose hope, then they win, but you've already won. You won the referendum. It's yours for the taking. Right. Just keep speaking. Unfortunately, you might have a little bit against you because they've now made it illegal in the UK to visit far-right sites. Far-right to them, they say, is terrorism. But we all know that Nigel Farage is labeled far-right and that UKIP has been labeled far-right.
Right.
And so it's been a muddy water. So will you, if
There's
you're watching...
There's a massive amount of censorship. It's not just visiting far-right sites. I mean, you can't even speak out against, like, Muslims or something like that. I mean, people are being put in jail for hate speech.
Right. But what they're trying to do is they're veiling it behind... we're going to find those terrorists. We're going to find those terrorists. No far-right sites unless you're a journalist or you have some sort of reason to be going to those sites. And, of course, that will be arbitrary. This is actually from Breitbart, and it's all over Twitter today. And many people are wondering, far-right, what's far-right?
Right.
You've already labeled everyone left of center or right of center far-right. I mean, seriously, if this is the center, far right is right here. Far right is like center. Center is right for you. Far right. Center is far right. Seriously, most Brexiteers aren't what I would consider rightist,
No,
libertarians.
because a lot of them actually
They're
were Lib Dems.
socialists. Sorry.
Because
Some
your
of them
policies
are
for how you
labor.
want your government, exactly, how you want your government to run has nothing to do, in all honesty, with whether you want your country in the European Union. It's completely different.
Right.
So UKIP, and that's part of the problem they're having in UKIP, is solidifying in their party because there are so many people inside of it that have so many different opinions. So before you
Right.
move on, I want to get to, while I have this up, if I can here, Justin Hughes, worth a look, sent this to me. So let me see if I can figure this out, make Leah and I small
Oh,
here.
here she goes again with her fancy
I'm
pansy.
trying here. I'm trying. All right, so the EU takes action against Eastern states for refusing to take refugees. Commission moves against Poland, Hungary, and Czech Republic, which have not cooperated with the relocation agreement. The European Commission has launched a legal case against Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic for refusing to take in refugees, intensifying a bitter feud within the bloc about how to deal with migration. The Eurosceptic governments in Poland and Hungary have refused to take in anyone under their plan agreed by a majority of EU leaders in 2015 to relocate migrants from frontline states, Italy and Greece, to help ease their burden. The Czech Republic initially accepted 12 people, large amount here, but has since said it would not welcome more. Speaking at a news conference on Tuesday, the EU's migration chief, Dimitris Avramopoulos, said, "I regret to see that despite our repeated calls to pledge to relocate, the Czech Republic, Hungary, and Poland have not yet taken the necessary action. For this reason, the Commission has decided to launch infringement procedures against these 3 member states. I sincerely hope that these member states can still consider their position and contribute, quote unquote, fairly." The legal action is likely to reinvigorate the debate over the independence of EU states from Brussels. It kickstarts months or even years of legal wrangling before a top EU court could potentially impose financial penalties. Out of 160,000 refugees due to be taken under this scheme, agreed in 2015, only 20,869 have been relocated. In theory, countries can be fined for every refugee in the quota that they fail to meet. The Czech Prime Minister, oh, come on, Bohuslav Sobotka, nosediving in the polls and facing elections in November, claimed the Commission was blindly insisting on pushing ahead with dysfunctional quotas, which decreased citizens' trust in the EU abilities and pushed back working and conceptual solutions to the migration crisis. So I wanted to bring that to you guys, and I will put that link in the description later on so you can finish reading that article. But to let you know, they are moving forward. They are trying to take action. It may take a while before those fines and the penalties actually reached. I think it's more of a threat at this point. However, they are actually doing it, and so we can kind of be a little bit hopeful. And it's kind of sad for Poland and Hungary because they are, and the Czech, because they are so financially dependent on the EU. It's a very scary thing what they're stepping forward to do.
I would say you have to follow Russia's lead. You can become independent.
Right.
And I would make friends with Russia. You're pretty close to Russia.
I agree. I think that's
And
a
you
good
can
call.
trade with Russia. They're already stable. They're able to sustain themselves within their country. It's huge. Start trading with Russia, right? Trade with me.
But they get so many subsidies and
They're going to be fine. You know what? When those subsidies cease, your people will actually
I like
flourish.
it. Yes.
Subsidies actually
Agreed.
make people not have the incentive to work, and not that they're lazy, it just messes with their head. I was thinking about that with workers' comp, or not workers' comp, but unemployment. I every single person I have ever known on unemployment says, I'm not going to go back to work, I'm still getting unemployment. Every person.
Right.
I just wanted to make this, while we're talking about Brexit, last thing, and we're moving on to Las Vegas. We're going to end with Puerto Rico, so if you don't want to hear updates from Las Vegas, skip ahead if you're watching this not live. Senior Remain supporter and British government minister Alan Duncan has slammed 2016's Brexit referendum as an artificial blue-collar tantrum. Wah, you babies. Blaming concern around immigration for encouraging people to vote. The outspoken remarks have left him facing accusations of holding the 17 million British voters who cast their ballot for Brexit in contempt. And so I thought that he says he also appeared to sneer at some Remain supporters who he dismissed as not habitual voters. So I'm sorry you didn't vote, and he's upset with you, just like Hillary Clinton is upset. Everyone's upset.
So Mama's right. Pause.
I'm gonna
Bless
sneeze,
you.
dude.
They're
Sorry.
not able to see it. Like when it's a white screen behind us, they're not able to see it.
We'll work on it. Just trust my word for it.
Just take Leah's word for it. Yeah.
Just listen to me read it.
We'll work on the kinks here.
Underlying his belief that Brexit was essentially the fault of the working classes. You weren't thinking for the elitist. Why not? He wants to know. You could feel it in the last 10 days of the campaign. Traditional blue-collar, urban labor opinion going viral for Leave. They were stirred up by an image of immigration which made them angry and throw a bit of a tantrum. That was part of the chemistry that explains the result. So he is going to write another book, co-authored by Hillary Clinton, that says, Brexit, what happened? Here.
Yes. Patriot Gallery.
Well, the other day we saw this picture of Paris. It was so full of life, and it was clean streets. They were taking in tours right and left. I mean, they kept the city up, and it was really nice and clean. Then we see this picture. One was from 1980, then one is from like just recently, 2015, and the streets are filthy. There's dirt. There's mattresses.
People
I mean,
just sleeping.
Paris is just filthy
in
and
the
dirty,
streets.
and nobody wants to go there anymore because.
That gives a whole new, a new meaning to the word wee.
Yeah, they're going to the bathroom in the streets and everything. But anyways, so I was just in there thinking that, Czech and Poland and Hungary, they're staying free from these Muslims. Now, they're going to stay strong and clean. But when the Muslims, I'm not being racist. I'm just saying this is Muslims. These are from different countries. And they have no respect for a land that's not theirs. So they can't respect it. Now, if they go home, they can maybe take some cleanness home with them. But the important thing is once these Muslims, who happen to be from other countries, destroy Germany and Britain and Paris and France, once these people, and Sweden, once they've destroyed those countries, these people are going to call out to Hungary and Czechoslovakia and Poland and say, come save us. And then they're going to be strong enough, they're going to have to go in and kick the Muslims out one way or another. They're going to have to go back home. Because they can't respect the land. It's not their home. Where you'll fight for your home. But they'll trash it because it's not their home. And they want to destroy these people in the name of Allah or whatever.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to bring up the next article that Leah has so that you can see it. And I'm not finding...
The Guardian, Amber Rudd, viewers of online.
Yeah, but somehow it went to sports.
Okay, Amber Rudd, viewers of online terrorist material face 15 years in jail. Tightening of law around viewing terrorist material is response to increasing frequencies of UK attacks.
Wow.
People who repeatedly view online terrorist content could face up to 15 years behind bars. In a move designed to tighten the laws tackling radicalization of the Home Secretary Amber Rudd is to announce Tuesday, so that would be today. The new maximum penalty of 15 years imprisonment will also apply to terrorists who publish information about members of the armed forces, police, and intelligence services for the purpose of preparing acts of terrorism. Now, she says, including jihadi websites, far-right propaganda, and bomb-making instructions. Now, I don't understand why they keep labeling Islam as far-right. Because when you're looking at the timeline, and I should bring one up, of political ideals, in the middle, you have socialist-type views, and towards the left, you get more socialist, communist, fascist, and totalitarian. To the right, you have no government. Far right. I'm going to stop. I should stop my accent right now, but I just can't now. I'm stuck in it. Far right is anarchy, where we don't have any law whatsoever. In the middle, between the center and the far right, we live. We are the libertarians. We believe we have the best mindset on the history of planet. On the history of the planet, we are the mindset of our founding fathers. All of our rights come from God. And truth be told, we believe we are right in the middle. We believe we are in the middle. And socialism is on the left. And anarchy is on the right. And the proper balance of law and order in the middle is true liberty. So far right is anarchy, and I have to tell you, if you have been lately to an Islamic country, they're not anarchists. You can't even drive around. If you're a woman in Saudi Arabia, will allow women over 30 to drive.
They're just starting that, and people are already
starting to
city.
Protest. In circles in the city, you may drive as long as your father or brother or male goat says that it's okay. So, all right. So, there we go. I'm so tired of far right being Islam. There's nothing to do with, because I think they're saying is religious is right, but there are many people on the right who aren't religious. So religion can't be on the right and atheism on the left, because there's Christians on the left. So it just boggles my mind. All right.
Are you done with that article?
We are, and now we are just going to dive right into the Las Vegas updates.
All right.
First update.
Now, hang on though.
Crazy brother.
Because
what?
I want them to be able to see it.
They can see the videos.
Okay, the videos that will show up.
Right. The videos they can all see.
All right.
They can see. They all can see them.
I mean, my heart.
This is from today. We showed you videos of him yesterday. It's kind of a weird
He's still
dude.
doing interviews?
Yeah.
I mean, my heart is torn, is destroyed for all these people. But I can't tell you why Steve did what he did. It's so far for the side of the cliff from Steve that I knew.
Now, that's not the only one. Listen to this one. This one's pretty weird.
Can do this, we are in deep shit.
Wait.
Steve can do this, we are in deep shit. Because there's just nothing there. You find me where someone who's like Steve does this. I hope the hell they find, when they do the autopsy, that there's a tumor in his head or something. Because if they don't, we're all in trouble.
That's really eerie.
Isn't that weird?
Mike Rivero had a good idea. He thought maybe the real guys, because they were professionals, they were real professionals, whoever did this, wanted his room. So he just happened to be there, wrong person, wrong place. They kill him. They do their business. They leave. And so he's left with the hook. And he did it. He killed himself and all this other stuff when he was just an innocent victim of it all.
Okay, so I like that theory. My only thoughts when my mom gives that theory is this: he did wire $100,000. Where?
To the Philippines.
To the Philippines, like a week before. That's a little bit odd behavior for somebody to do.
But remember, the deep state can get into your computers.
You're right. They could have done that. They could have. There's a lot they could have done. However, the guy's dad was a psychopath. I would take that theory and I would take it a little bit further. I would think that they chose this person in that room. I don't know. I don't know how you could work that out, but still, it's a good theory.
I have been watching videos all day. And I've been walking dogs, watching videos, listening to videos, and I've seen a lot of things going around. Well, we were talking about the $100,000. His girlfriend is now a person of interest. What's so crazy about this?
First they said she was here. Then they said she was in Australia. Then they said she was in Korea? Tokyo. And then she was in the Philippines.
Well, now they say she still is in Tokyo, but they wired money to the Philippines because she has family in the Philippines. And there is a picture of him in the Philippines with her and the family. I'm just going to have to go. Here it is. Here he is. That's him right here. And that's her, I believe.
I wish you guys could see that. Oh, I guess I could pull it up from your Twitter. I don't know. Maybe not.
So anyways, there he is. Now, she's finally again a person. why do I feel like they're not taking this seriously?
And how is she a person of interest if she wasn't in the country? Was she an accomplice? Are they saying she was an accomplice as far as preparations
Why
go?
haven't they found the Mexican couple yet? Okay, so here she is. The shooter's girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley, is currently a person of interest. She's 62 years old, Filipino, has an Australian passport. She was in, okay, here we go. I'm sorry.
Manila.
She was in the Philippines. Dude, she is like Waldo.
Where's Waldo?
Where is this woman? Where is she? Okay, so she was in the Philippines. Man, you can't trust anything in the news, you guys. This news comes after it was reported that Paddock had wired $100,000 to an account in the Philippines the week before the shooting. The Islamic State, now, you guys, here's the thing. The Islamic State, we told you, took responsibility. However, most of us wouldn't take that seriously.
So they doubled down.
And they said, no, we really did. He is really Muslim. And the Islamic State does not take responsibility for everything. It was Edmonton that I was trying to come up with. The Somali with the stabbing and ramming people with the car in Edmonton, Canada. He had an ISIS flag in the back of his car. ISIS did not claim responsibility for that. Okay? So, Danley lived with Paddock in a house in Mesquite, Nevada. Paddock was a high-stakes gambler and reportedly was gambling at least $160,000 in the week before the shooting.
So she was, because yesterday I said she was a high roller, and you said no, she was a high roller host. Oh, Paddock was, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She's not made of money. No, she doesn't have any money. Remember the Starbucks people said she...
Can we believe the Starbucks people?
I don't know. Starbucks people said that
he was abusive.
He was abusive to her, that she was really short, came up to his elbow, and when she tried to use his card to pay for something, he would snap at her. He's like, I pay for you, I pay for your drink. He's like...
Although listen, we're not going to bring fake news. That is the truth. That is what the Starbucks workers have said. I'm just, at this point, I'm not ready to believe anybody. I'm just not. I can't after everything. But go ahead.
So he did make 16 $10,000 bets. I know that much. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go through my what?
That's fine. I wanted to get to the whole two-shooter thing because I know that everybody in the comment section is probably going to be losing their minds. When are you going to get to that? Haven't you guys watched the footage? It's overwhelmingly convincing. And
so the flashing light
on the 4th floor
has been debunked because, and I can bring this up for you if you want, it's still blinking in the background when there's no shots. And actually there's a reporter reporting and it's still blinking. So it's got to be a strobe or some...
And we had heard an initial report about a strobe light, and that was like right away. I remember hearing about that.
So there's the woman, the taxi driver. How many of you have seen that video?
It's long and it's really good.
Right. So I think Paul Joseph Watts has been tweeting out a lot of stuff, but his latest tweet was actually the 4th floor muzzle light is seen here flashing after the shooting. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not big. So that's still flashing.
However, it is still flashing, but here it looks kind of green-blue, and before it was a different color, so I don't know what that is.
Right. I wanted to play this video for you because I don't know if these people are drunk, and this is my theory. The people in the middle are drunker than a skunk. And if there was alcohol at this thing, this is why I don't drink, because I don't ever want to be this drunk. People are running, people are carrying, looking at bodies, and these people are just standing there. The people in the background are there. Everyone else is running. One guy's smoking in the middle.
That guy's still smoking. They're still standing there.
There was more shots, and they're just standing. More shots.
My heart's beating fast.
So that actually means nothing, except some people are stupid. Some people are stupid, and when they say some Trump supporters are stupid,
they're stupid.
Some Trump supporters are stupid. 50, you know how many million people voted for Trump? They can't.
Maybe out of all those people that were there, those ones didn't. I don't know.
Right. Exactly. So this particular video I wanted to show you. This is a psychologist, I think, who top psychiatric. Was she? Was he a psychologist? I think psychiatric. He says, you know, maybe the motive was the fact that they were, you know, maybe Christians, Trump supporters.
Right.
So I'm going to play the Paul Joseph Watson video here because he's really been on this. He's been making a lot of great videos lately.
But there are some before you click play, actually it'll just go, there's some really conflicting reports about that second shooter. I'm still not convinced that this guy acted alone at all, but we have to take the facts.
Deliberately targeted conservatives. This is Dr. Michael Wellner. He went on Fox and Friends this morning, made the point, as Alex just said, and it's a point that we made in the immediate aftermath of the shooting. Oh, and by the way, 2 hours before the shooting, as you can see right now up on Infowars.com as well, the audience was singing, along with the people on stage, God Bless America, 2 hours before the shooting began. Now this forensic psychiatrist, Dr. Michael Wellner, now the psychiatrist made the point, when young people carry out terror attacks or mass shooting attacks, and we have it ready, we'll go to it in a second, they do it for one of two reasons. It's either for notoriety or in pursuit of a political or personal cause. In almost every single example. The ones who do it for notoriety are almost always young men. This was not a young man. What was he, 64 years old? Why would he do it for notoriety? It makes no sense.
So what goes on in the mind of a shooter like this as they shoot at innocent people? Here now to discuss this is Dr. Michael Wellner. He's a top forensic psychiatrist who has personally examined a number of mass killers.
The most important place to start is with the victims. And what we can immediately see is that he had no relationship to the killers. A workplace mass shooter knows his victims.
And they want to see the victim.
And they want to destroy, annihilate the workplace. It's another key point. The family mass shooter knows the family, wants to annihilate the family. The criminal enterprise wants to kill the gang. So it's a stranger mass homicide. And a stranger mass homicide happens for one of two reasons. Either a person acting for a cause, or a person acting because he wants to transcend notoriety and kill as many people as possible, like a James Holmes. Here's the thing. Shooting for notoriety's sake, and nothing more, is a young man's crime. And this is a 64-year-old with no dramatic mental illness, no major decline, someone who's intact. I think if we want to understand what's behind the crime, we should look at James Hodgkinson, the shooter of Congressman Scalise, because that crime itself was intended to be a spectacle and of much bigger scope. Imagine this. What he intended to do, Hodgkinson, was not only kill all of those lawmakers,
Republicans,
but in doing so, we would have had to have special elections to replace all of them. And if it weren't for the security people who intercepted him, you had all kinds of congressmen and lawmakers in a dugout, defenseless, who would have been mowed down. My point is, a spectacle is either designed to cause some derivative impact or to instigate some cause discussion. So the point is, he's an older man, there's no definable mental history or decline, and yet it happens now. Here's the big take home in terms of what we can do to prevent. Absolutely, people who are gun enthusiasts and who are populists or nationalists in this country are dehumanized. They're demonized. I travel all over the United States. I don't experience hatred. I turn on the television in certain media, and I see these people demonized. When you have a CBS News executive who talks about not having sympathy, the point is his mindset is that they deserve to die.
Yes.
And so a person who adopts a cause may be otherwise law-abiding, but he feels righteously justified that the end justifies the means. So we're talking now about gun control because he committed an over-the-top gun crime. Doesn't mean that guns was the ideology. What I'm saying is it's the idea of instigating and a means to an end with people you dehumanize.
All right, let's go back.
Whether it's this or racism.
Who are you shooting at? What do country music fans and country music artists represent?
It's Americana. It could be guns. I'm not suggesting that I know the ideology. Look, it could be that he had an issue with Las Vegas. But my point is, because this is a national event, it's in Las Vegas. But my point is, cause is pointed out by what he says. He's going to either lay it out or he's smart enough to know what this would instigate. Otherwise, one can't speculate. I think that CNN is going to have to answer for how they demonize gun enthusiasts and how CNN actually contributes to mass shooting.
But again, look at the target, a country music festival. They're singing God Bless America 2 hours before. Some of them, according to one eyewitness, get a warning 45 minutes before the shooting begins. Who goes to a country music concert? That was why I satirized to some extent the people who were blaming this on white supremacism and saying that this was the white supremacist patriarchy's fault. Because yeah, that's the first people I'd target if I were a white supremacist, is a country music concert full of Republican Trump supporters, mainly the ones who were political, and of course white people. Makes absolutely no sense. We still don't know the motive.
So what I take away from that interview with the guy that had said that he's interviewed a lot of mass murderers and just murderers in general in the past was really kind of, he gave us the proof, in my humble opinion, that this guy didn't do it. Because he doesn't have a reason. He doesn't have the motive. It's not there.
So
it's just not there.
I got sent a link to Michael Savage. His name's Michael Savage, right? Sorry, I don't watch him very much. I think Savage Nation. Where Pollock's ex-neighbor called in. The neighbor was a Trump supporter. He was a ex-military. He's a young guy. And at the end of the interview, he says, this guy, we would drink beer. We would, just play poker slots together. And no way did this guy do this. I don't know. But listen to the Sheriff Lombardo here say how Pollock was radicalized.
Whereas, you heard me say that we're comfortable that we have the suspect in custody, but something more may come of that investigation. And I want to understand the motivation that you described, okay, to prevent any future incidents. And, did this person get radicalized unbeknownst to us? And we want to identify that source.
This person was radicalized unbeknownst to us.
Wow.
Really interesting there. So here are some of the first pictures. Now remember, I think it's all set up. I don't think they live everywhere. It doesn't look natural. There is a picture I can show you. I don't actually have it up, but I can get it up, of the gunman with the head blown off. He certainly, if he didn't pull the trigger, somebody pulled it to make it look like a suicide, because that's exactly what a suicide looks like.
Right.
But here we have ammunition everywhere. We're not seeing enough.
I hope they can see that.
We're not seeing enough ammunition in these pictures.
We're talking thousands of rounds. I mean, why there's like 10 there? Obviously that gun was just placed there like that.
I don't know. And somebody said it was a belt gun. Now, actually, it's come out that we may or may not
ever know.
Well, we may or may not know what an AR-15 looks like and how to fire one. However, we do know that
we know what one looks like and we know how to fire it. The question is whether there's one here.
That's the question. That is a question. Or one buried somewhere in a neighbor's yard. All right, so you can modify these AR-15s. They don't look like much for as much as they cost. I'm just going to tell you. They kind of look plasticky. But you can do a lot with them. And you can buy the magazine that actually holds 100 rounds.
Right.
Now, there's a new thing.
Was it like 1,000 rounds, or is it just 100?
100. There's a new thing. Sorry. It's called a bump stock. And if Matt was here, he would explain to you how you can modify any weapon to be an automatically shooting weapon. He said that you can buy, in a gun magazine, you can take a little handheld pistol and you can put this little spinny thing on it.
Yep.
So that it goes bub, 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 bub. You can turn anything into a machine
like a
gun.
Gatling gun or something.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there.
This picture up so that they can see it, but I'm not allowed.
So they're saying he was using the magazines on the AR-15, and he was using this bump stock, which makes it so it's like. And so here's a picture of the gun set up.
It's not that clear, which is why I'm trying to pull this up. Sorry, guys. No, it's not your fault. I'm trying to get this.
So none of the weapons in the photo are fully automatic. The bump stock that was used by the shooter to mimic automatic weapons fire can plainly be seen attached to the butt of one of the shooter's rifles. And it's just a piece of, they just make these things like out of plastic. And see, that's another thing though, guys. If you have ever gone shooting, every 5 seconds, something is getting stuck.
Right.
And every 5 seconds, you're handing the gun to the best person in the area,
to
saying,
clear the jam.
Clear this gun. It's not shooting anymore. Like you can have the best gun, and no guns just shoot. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in the movies where they go bang bang, and then you just and then just throw it out. It's not because they're out. Most of the time they misfire and they get clogged.
Right.
The best guns, guys, they clog, and it's super annoying. I don't know if we...
Leah, it's called jamming. But you can use your girly expressions for what
they
are.
Clogged.
They clog like a toilet.
It's clogged and we need a plunger. Maddie! That's what I say. The gun. It's not shooting anymore.
All right, so here is what they're saying in this article. Did you get to the fact that it says that Paddock killed himself as police entered his hotel room? Because yesterday the reports were saying
they entered it and he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of conflicting post reports.
While none of the weapons in the photos are fully automatic arms,
we just said that.
Okay, sorry, I'm trying to go through these so that they can actually see them.
So here's another picture in the attacker's hotel room. Multiple guns are visible.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're just all over the place, but I guess they either chose not to show us where all the ammo was.
This looks very weirdly placed to me. Like they had to have moved that stuff. To me it all looks very odd, the way that it's placed. And I'm not a criminal, right? I'm not some sort of mass shooter and I don't know anything, but to me it just looks odd.
So in a development that's really interesting, there is one video of him that he slips and falls and he tries to sue the casino. A casino in 2014.
Did you want me to play it?
No,
okay.
It's not that exciting.
I'm going to drop this in the description. I've been trying to drop all the links that Leah has up into the description as we go through them, so that you guys will have them. Did you want to read the rest? of that?
Yeah. So the lawyer met Paddock when he was suing the Nevada the casino for when he slipped and fell. And Paddock enjoyed a special high roller status with perks at least one Vegas casino, the lawyer said, but he was unkempt in his appearance, looking slovenly and bizarre during the deposition. But the lawyer said there was nothing about Paddock that would ever indicate someone who was unstable. This is not a guy that I would have looked at and thought he's going to commit a crime one day. He did report that he had $32,000 in injuries as a result of the fall. He allegedly sustained a tear to his hamstring, as well as a sprain and strain injury to the wrist and elevated blood pressure. So I don't know if he was just trying to rack it up or not, but that was just interesting. Currency transactions report that Paddock had recently gambled more than $10,000 a day. His brother said it wasn't a big deal for him to be winning or losing $1 million a day. I don't know if that's true or not, but obviously that's his brother speaking. So we're going to take a second, and in the middle of all the carnage, let's take a look at a hero. Meet the former Marine who stole a truck, transported dozens to the hospital after the Vegas shooting.
I wonder do they know whose truck they stole?
And
is
in
that
the
person
aftermath of the
cool with
deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, we're focusing on some of the people who stood up and helped others that night. One of them is a U.S. Marine veteran. His name is Taylor Winston. Instead of leaving the scene to escape the gunfire, he helped victims and drove more than 20 of them to the hospital. Nora O'Donnell is with us once again from Las Vegas with his story. Nora, thank goodness there are always stories like this in times like this.
Gail, you are absolutely right. We are reminded of the humanity, really good people as well that do so much in the face of such tragedy. And the man we met last night had remarkable poise less than 24 hours after the attack. And Taylor Winston told us how he loaded some of the most critical victims into a stolen truck. He stole the truck and then he sped it to Desert Springs Hospital Medical Center, all before ambulances had arrived on the scene.
Me and a friend went and got a few drinks, and we found our other friends near the side stage, and we just kind of posted up there to watch and enjoy the concert.
Taylor Winston and girlfriend Jen Lewis were dancing the two-step stage right. Moments later, the gunfire began.
People started scattering and screaming, and that's when we knew something real was happening.
Winston and Lewis and thousands of others needed to get to safety, but were boxed in by a fence.
The shots got louder and louder closer to us, and saw people getting hit. It was like we could be hit at any second. Once we got to the fence, helped throw a bunch of people over and got myself over. It was a mini war zone, but we couldn't fight back.
The 29-year-old veteran couldn't fight the threat, but he was able to drive.
I saw a field with a bunch of white trucks. I tested my luck to see if any of them had keys in it, and the first one that we tried opening had keys sitting right there. And started looking for people to take to the hospital. There was just too many, and it was overwhelming how much blood was everywhere.
Victims squeezed into the back seat and spread across the bed of the truck.
Once we dropped them off, we were like, well, let's go back for round two and go get some more. I transported probably 20 to 30 people injured to the hospital.
Winston joined the Marines at age 17, eventually serving 2 tours in Iraq. In 2011, he was honorably discharged as a sergeant.
I think a lot of my training in the military helped me in the situation. We need to get them out of there regardless of our safety.
Winston rejects the hero label. He said he saw many people like him doing good deeds.
There's a lot of bravery and courageous people out there, and I'm glad that I can call them my country folk.
I'm going to just tell you something. The left hates people like this.
Right.
They know that these people have guns.
Right.
They also know that if they're ever going to take over the United States government, they have to take away our guns. They have to. And I was listening to a guy who runs the biggest pro-gun website, bigger than NRA, and he was on Alex Jones today. And he made this incredible point that it doesn't matter whether guns are safe or people are shooting other people or whatever.
Right.
None of that really matters. Gun statistics. Ben Shapiro tweeted out a gun statistic, which is a great thing. It shows a gun graph. The more that gun ownership goes up, the less shootings happen. This is here. This is this gun graph here. Percent changes since 1993. Number of firearms versus gun homicide rate. So you've got this. Here's a chart of American gun ownership and American murder rate. Police explain how more guns inevitably means more murder. So,
and in the aftermath of the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, we're focusing on some of the people who stood up and helped others that night. One of them is a U.S. Marine veteran. His name is Taylor Winston. Instead of leaving the scene to escape the gunfire, he helped victims and drove more than 20 of them to the hospital.
The less homicides
with us once again from Las Vegas with his story.
How is that
thank
even
goodness
work in
there are
people's
always
minds?
stories like
But
this
you would
in times like
understand
this.
if you are in America.
You are absolutely right. We are reminded of the humanity, really good people as well that do so much in the face of such tragedy. And the man we met last night had remarkable poise. Less than 24 hours after the attack, and Taylor Winston told us how he loaded some of the most critical victims into a stolen truck. He stole the truck and then he sped it to Desert Springs Hospital Medical Center, all before ambulances had arrived on the scene.
Right.
Me and a friend went and got a few drinks, and we found our other friends near the side stage, and we just kind of posted up there to watch and enjoy the concert.
Taylor Winston and girlfriend Jen Lewis were dancing the two-step stage right. Moments later, the gunfire began.
People started scattering and screaming, and that's when we knew something real was happening.
Winston and Lewis and thousands of others needed to get to safety, but were boxed in by a fence.
The shots got louder and louder closer to us, and saw people
did
getting
you bring
hit.
it up or
was like
something?
We could be hit at any second. Once we got to the fence, helped throw a bunch of people over and got myself over. It was a mini war zone.
There it is. Sorry.
It was that lady newscast.
Got it. Hey, still working out the kinks. I'm just trying to pull up this silly graph that Leah has for you guys so you can actually see it. Because they're not
playing.
She can't. Well, that's because this is not a 30-second leg.
Delay.
Sorry.
All right. So now I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not. But gun ownership goes up, homicides go down.
I'm just going to drop that tweet in there so that they can find it.
So anyways, the left, they want to take away the guns because, let's see if this is just a short little, no, this is something, but the Second Amendment is not for hunting. The Second Amendment is not for self-defense. Those are the two reasons that the left gives us for owning guns. That's okay. So they allow hunters to have guns. You guys, our Second Amendment allows us to have guns so that we can overthrow our government if it becomes tyrannical.
Exactly.
That is why the Bolsheviks had to disarm everyone. That is why Hitler had to disarm everyone. That's why in Venezuela you can't own a gun. That's why in Cuba everyone is disarmed. Everyone but the military.
Exactly.
Now here's the left. This is Keith Olbermann. A clip here, I think.
I'm Keith Olbermann, and this is The Resistance. Warmest condolences and sympathies will not suffice.
All right, pause.
We need leadership in this.
Back it up a few seconds, please. Oh, but we've got the head of programming over at CBS saying she's glad they died or they deserve it. You've got all these so-called movie stars saying they deserve it. You've got everybody on Twitter and Facebook saying it en masse and blaming them, saying, now maybe you'll grow up. Now maybe you'll turn your guns in. Olbermann, you're sick.
So CBS did fire the executive who tweeted out, I hope, it was all Trump supporters that died.
Wow.
She got fired. She'll probably come back like Kathy Griffin, the D-list lady. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. No, I meant it. Let me get back over here to my tweets that I have tweeted out all day in preparation of this evening. Let's see here. So as I'm going down the pictures, we've seen the pictures.
Let's see. Gonzalez says Hitler made the Jews defenseless before he went after them.
Absolutely. If the Jews had their arms.
And all fascists take guns first.
Exactly. Now, this really dawned on me today, and I really wanted, what I wanted to title this episode? The left wants to take away our First Amendment and Second Amendment rights.
Yep, that's what they've been hitting.
The freedom of speech, and now, if they didn't plan this shooting, they sure are using it as a step ladder to come and shoot all of us. Now, another piece to this puzzle, Vegas shooter filmed himself during the slaughter, may have left a note. There's pictures of a note. We don't know if there's writing on it. Suicide photo emerges. Now, what's interesting is, again, lots of news coming out. Some of it's fake, some of it's real. There was a camera outside of the door. There was a camera on a cart supposedly so that he could see when police would be eventually knocking on his door.
Pause. I have no idea how to put us on top of this thing. I'm just going to figure it out, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, so sorry, guys.
I'm just going to play the video.
Oh, okay. I thought it was an article.
No, it's a video.
All right, very good. Even better.
Okay, so this is a reporter asking Sheriff Lombardo, so you're saying that we have film of him doing this? And he says, I'm not saying that at all. There was a camera in the room. The FBI took all the cameras.
Sheriff, can I ask you, Sheriff, can you talk then to what was found inside that hotel room that the gunman used? Specifically, CBS News is reporting that there was a camera inside that room. Was the gunman recording? Was the gunman transmitting that video anywhere else?
I'm not aware of any transmission, but there was cameras. There was cameras located outside of the room and inside of the room, along with the firearms.
And he had set up how many cameras?
I don't know what the specific
And for what purpose do you think?
Well, I anticipate he was looking for anybody coming to take him into custody.
So essentially you have a recording of him carrying out this carnage?
No, that's not essentially what I'm saying. That is being evaluated. The FBI took all digital and electronic evidence into custody, and we're evaluating.
I don't like that. I don't like it.
Doesn't sound right.
I don't like it. Why do I feel in my gut that she is part of it? You don't get a question like unless it's planted. I feel like in times like this, that this deep state plays a play. I don't think Sheriff Lombardo's in on the play. I think he's a good dude. I've seen him. He is not in on it. This is like a book where there's characters who know their role and characters who don't know their role. And the narrative is being pushed. It's so weird. I don't know what to say. Now, we're going to talk about the number of guns here. So far, they say there have been 42 firearms located. 23 of those guns he took into the Mandalay Bay suite over several days. Yes.
Okay, I have that one up.
And he set up 2 rifles on tripods at windows overlooking Route 91 Harvest Country Music Festival. And then the other 19 guns were found in his home, I believe. Thousands of rounds of ammunition were also found in the suite, enabling him to fire repeatedly.
This is a different one. Sorry, guys. Go ahead. They're fine. I think this is this the same one, or is this a different one?
This is the film himself during the slaughter.
Okay. I think I have the right one up. I'm
so
just finding where you're at.
There's a video here.
You gonna play it, or you want me to play it here?
There's just a video where you can see the room. It doesn't show you much. Yeah, there you go.
Here, you stop yours and I'll play mine. See, I don't know. That's outside the room.
Yeah, they're not letting you in the room. Okay. Then you can scroll down if you want from there to the next picture. Here's the guns.
Stop it. Playing. Stop. There's more. We just covered those, but then what are we looking at right here?
I guess, as we now learn, the reporter, he has also reportedly set up a camera in his room, apparently to film the mass murder and others in the hallway to capture police arriving. Before carrying out the shooting, he used a hammer-like tool to smash out 2 windows in his room, which he used to fire out of.
No, I'm calling that fake news right here, right now. So those windows are so thick. If it's a hammer-like tool, you guys can't even see me. It's a sledgehammer type tool at that point. I'm sorry, like I don't even know what kind of like force it would take sledgehammer wise to get a window that thick through. It had to be shot out. Why would they even throw that in there as a false narrative? Because he could have just shot the window out. I do not believe that a hammer bashed that window in.
And the timing here is so weird. Okay, so the timing here on this article is shortly after 10 p.m. local time, Stephen Paddock smashes the windows in his room, opens fire with an assault rifle. He kills 58 people and injures 515. It says the concert was 400 yards away. It says, at 11:58, a police SWAT team blew the doors off Paddock's room. They found it when the gun smoke had set off the fire alarms. Up to 20 guns were found, and Paddock had shot himself. So the timing on this is so weird. 2 hours. First they said 90 minutes. Then they said 70 minutes. Now they're saying 2 hours. 2 hours? There was a guy 2 stories below that told the police exactly when the gun started shooting. Said he took a while to get in. He took a while to get through. No one was answering. But he knew the shots were going off. This timing, I hate this timing. This is not right. Okay, you can bring us up again if you want.
Which one?
Us.
We are up.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Okay, so obviously America is mourning. We're searching for answers. And there's been obviously candlelight vigils and people praying. And this was the article. You don't have to bring it up. I can just tell you. This is the Starbucks where the people said that she was abused. The girlfriend of Paddock was abused. He would glare down on her and say with a mean attitude, "You don't need my casino card for this. I'm paying for your drink just like I'm paying for you." Then she would softly say, "Okay," and step behind him. He was so rude to her in front of us.
All right, so let me establish a fact, because earlier I said I don't believe anything. I'm just not believing anything at this point. However, when somebody is a high-stakes gambler, or any kind of gambler, any kind of addiction, this narrative does go along with that, with the violence. Anybody that has an addiction, and I think most of our viewers, almost everybody has an addict of some point, of some kind in their family, and it does usually come with violence.
I wanted to show this picture. This is Joseph Lombardo, sheriff, saying, "What a great pleasure to speak with our president. Thank you for your phone call." Our president, I got to tell you, I think he's one of the most hands-on presidents we've ever had. He likes to call people. He likes to let them know that he's caring about them. He likes to know what likes to tell people he's thinking about them. I think so far, I think we've covered all the updates. And now, I'm just going to give a couple, lines. Mike Cernovich, guns aren't magic. They are heavy. They have recoil. Barrels melt. All these problems exaggerated in full auto. Who trained the Vegas shooter?
In order for this guy to carry out this attack, he had to be highly trained, and he wasn't in the military. Let that sink in for a second, folks. I have to tell you, I don't think the dude did it.
Here's the thing.
I don't.
If he'd have to be smart enough to get a hold of all these ARs, to get the bump stocks, to get all the ammo, and then it is just like pulling a trigger. If he's got it all working, but he would have had to practice it. And as somebody said, the guy didn't look like he was in that great a shape. He looked old, unfortunately, and overweight. And it didn't look like he would be able to sustain 10 minutes of rapid gunfire. See, I've shot an AR. I've shot a shotgun.
The shotgun's worse than the AR. The AR is not really that bad. But you haven't shot an automatic weapon. An automatic weapon is just... I would imagine that there would be some...
There would be some... Your arms. Right. Your arms would just, seriously, it's not easy shooting a gun.
Right.
Sebastian Gorka says about Larry, given that Dems call Trump fascist, why would they want more gun control? Isn't the Second Amendment purpose to stop tyrants like Trump? So I think we've kind of covered. Oh, here's a picture. I don't know if you can see it. The AR with the slide fire stock in the photo has a Surefire 100 round mag. So I guess that's the 100 round magazine that you can get.
I'm sorry, guys. This, to me...
Here's the bump stock for the two semi-automatic rifles.
It's Lee Harvey Oswald all over again. I'm sorry. That's my opinion, obviously. For what it's worth, I don't know. My gut says this entire thing is set up.
Here's his legs.
It's set up.
Ben Garrison says keep asking questions, and he posts a link to Natural News here, which has some really good questions to be asking there. Antifa extremist praise Las Vegas shooter, left-wing Melbourne Antifa.
And that's the thing, immediately, and we said this yesterday, Hillary Clinton came out with her gun agenda. Every leftist has come out with their gun agenda right away, almost like they were given a heads up.
So left-wing extremist Melbourne Antifa says, I don't know if they're true or not. A lot of these Antifa groups are made up. One of our comrades from our Las Vegas branch has made these fascist Trump supporter dogs pay. I don't know. Some good news. Talking about life. We're going to go to Puerto Rico. The U.S. House votes to ban late-term abortions on babies who feel pain.
Huh.
Yes, I'm very excited about this. We're not going to do a segment on abortion, pro-life, whatever. We can do that another day, but this is pretty cool. The U.S. House voted 237 to 189 today to ban most abortions after 20 weeks. And I guess I will make a little notion here. I don't know how many people are watching, but the left boggles my mind. They say they want to ban guns, they want gun control, because they want to save lives. And at the same time, they fund and push the biggest organization that kills people.
Mm-hmm.
So 50 million babies have been aborted by abortion, and they tout it out like it's this beautiful thing. When gun people don't go around saying that people getting killed with guns is a beautiful thing. It's so weird.
I don't know, but the leftists kind of came out and said people being killed with guns was a beautiful thing yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, so ban most abortions after 20 weeks when a preborn baby can feel pain. Now, I don't know how they test the babies inside the womb
to find out if they
if a 5-month-old baby inside a tummy can feel pain, but a 4-month-old baby cannot feel pain. I'm not buying that. But the Pain Capable Unborn Child Protection Act was sponsored strongly by pro-life Representative Trent Franks from Arizona. For an abortion to take place, the abortionist must file a medical report with a state or federal agency saying an act of rape or incest conceived the child. At 20 weeks, halfway through the pregnancy, an unborn baby is the size of a small cantaloupe. Mothers can feel their babies kicking. When they are operated on in the womb at this age, it's standard medical practice to give the babies anesthesia. However, it's still legal to dismember them.
Wow.
In violent, painful abortions without anesthesia. Without knocking them out, right? Trump most likely will sign it. Representative Maya Love from Utah pointed out some of the double standards that we have in this country. Killing a pregnant woman is considered a double homicide, but abortion isn't considered murder. This begs the question, when does the unborn have a right to protection just like the mother? The Democratic reps who defended late-term abortion repeatedly bleated, we must stop the bans on abortion. So weird.
It's very creepy.
Don't ban
guns, don't ban abortion.
But here's the thing. Guns don't kill people.
Abortion
Planned Parenthood does. Guns on their own don't randomly shoot people. Abortion always kills someone.
Right.
100% of the time. 100% of the time. Then Brad Schneider shared a story from Jessica whose baby had a rare birth defect. Having an abortion was the most compassionate choice. I gotta tell you, these abortions are not because, most of these abortions are not because of people with birth defects or rape or incest. It's just because people don't want to have the child. And at 5 months, you know you're pregnant, and you've known you're pregnant for a while.
Right.
And it's pretty sad that it's not. So
this is good news, at least. It's a step forward in the right direction.
And especially in light of this, you know, especially in light of the shooting.
So, speaking of the shooting, Apple Mark Wants Vids had sent me a video earlier today. Now, when I watched this video, I was 100% convinced of a second shooter. I want to play it for you guys just for you guys to have the opportunity to watch it for yourselves. However, it has been debunked that it really is just an echo, the noise that you're hearing, because the way that you guys have seen that the picture, it's even on our the thumbnail of this video, the way that the hotel is shaped. There's all of these, it's a giant building, and so there is a lot of places for noise to be bouncing off of.
I've been in places with echoes.
I've played tennis, and you hit, like if you've played racquetball, right? There's four
that's
walls,
really
and then you just, it hits, and then the noise, So, I do believe that, I don't believe that this guy even did it. I do believe that there are 2 shooters. Okay, let me be very clear. But in this video from the 4th floor and all of that stuff, I'm not so convinced that that's where it was coming from. So I'm not saying that there's not a conspiracy theory, but this is a really good video and it's worth showing. So I wanted to bring it up for you guys to make your
that
own.
No one, absolutely no one.
So I have to fast forward it.
Or maybe someone's asking. I don't know, but I haven't heard it.
Shoot.
Now they're showing.
You know what?
Now they're showing us.
I need to get it to like the 30-minute mark.
That there's 2 windows popped out. Right, 2 windows.
Mandalay Bay, there's possibly another suspect on the 4th floor. Units now advising no force proceed.
No, go ahead.
Into Mandalay Bay, there's possibly another suspect on the 4th floor.
That's a live police scanner during the shooting.
Cannot hear it.
Okay.
Oh shoot! Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, guys.
I don't see how anyone would say that there's one shooter in this case. How are people saying that there's only one shooter? And the shots that sound from way further away, like I showed you, come almost immediately after
So I'm gonna
close
let that
range
play for
shots.
a little bit to give you guys an
Like
idea.
I said, did he run to the other side of the building? Did he run on the roof and shoot? I mean, come on.
Right?
Come on, 2 or 3 shooters, someone's saying, right.
It goes into the taxi driver right
So the
there.
4th floor windows would be busted out and they weren't. No, that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Up to the 5th floor, I believe, in the Mandalay Bay, the window's open.
Is this what you want?
Echo. Someone's still saying echo. How in the fuck is that
Sorry
an echo?
about the curse word
okay,
there, guys.
you must be someone who's just joining. We've already debunked this. We've already debunked it being an echo. Okay?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. But
I'm going to show you again.
This video,
it is an echo.
It is.
I'm going to show you again.
Video,
now listen. Now stay on.
I just wanted to play this part.
I know you're probably a fucking troll, but just stay on. Let me show you. Here's close range shots. Close.
I'm going to mute it. So
those are close range shots.
Because otherwise it'll be.
Okay, at 45. Let's go to 45. Let's start at 40, just to show you that there's no close range shots to cause an echo that sounds far away. There you go, far away. No close range shots.
Like it's coming from,
that's before.
Farther away.
All right, so I'm gonna drop that out.
She doesn't even know video.
What do you mean?
Do you?
Roughly, you guys got the idea. The idea is that there was the up close noise, bop, 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 and then you hear da, 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 which is the immediate echo, and then there isn't an up close bop, 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 but you still hear the bop, 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 the dull. It has already been debunked, even though to those of us that are just listening to it and our minds go, no, that has to be from far away. It actually is the same pitch. It's the same tone. It's the same bop, bop, it's the same dull bop, 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 bop as the echo that you're hearing after the initial bop, 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 bop. And then it's the same bop, 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 bop. It's the same exact tone. It's probably the same distance. And so we've watched several videos today that we're not bringing you right now. I'm just saying, let's use a little bit of common sense. That is a really great video. Okay, it does tell us a lot, but it doesn't prove that that was a second shooter, even though when I watched it, I was convinced. I've just since watched other videos that make me go, I don't know. I don't think that that particular shot is evidence that there was a second shooter.
And I think the more we talk things through and the more that we are willing to let go of our preconceived ideas,
right?
Don't hang on to any of your ideas. Hang on to Jesus. Now, listen, guys, we're going to come to you every day with more stuff. We're done with Las Vegas. I want to bring to you a couple things with Trump. Puerto Rico's in shambles. Before all this mess, we were talking about Puerto Rico. So he's in Puerto Rico today, and I want to play this clip.
I want to thank your Congresswoman, who actually represents the largest number of people of any congressperson in the United States. I know that. It's 3.5 million people, Jennifer, right? So Congresswoman Jennifer Gonzalez Colon, who I've watched the other day, and she was saying such nice things about all of the people that have worked so hard. Jennifer, do you think you could say a little bit what you said about us today? And it's not about me, it's about these incredible people, from the military to FEMA, the first responders. I mean, I've never seen people working so hard in my life. Perhaps you could say?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Congresswoman.
Thank you, Mr. President. The first thing is that before we were hit by Maria, we were hit by the Hurricane Irma. And during that time, before the hurricane, he was FEMA acting together with a lot of employees. More than 4,000 people were here in the island from the different branches of the military. HHS, Navy, Army, FEMA, and all the staff working together before the hurricane hit. They were here before, during, after the first hurricane, and they continued to stay on the island, boots on the ground, during Maria.
So that's just one clip. The media is doing the best to say that Trump is a racist, to say that Trump isn't helping people, to say that the hurricane is causing some sort of class warfare. I'm not sure if I have it up or not. So
Otto came on and he was saying that they covered this tonight when they went live and on their show, Primer Time. So there is a real concern for our Second Amendment rights after this.
Sure.
They are coming for the guns. Right. So that is one of the things that we need to just kind of be aware of. I don't think they're going to win. All right, I want to let you guys know that. But they are... I have to tell you, I do think this is a false flag. I think it's a setup. I think they did it on purpose. And when I say false flag, I don't mean it didn't happen. I mean they did it, and they did it on purpose. They have done it to come after the guns. And if they are willing to kill 59 people and injured 500 and possibly even more, they didn't know how many they were going to get.
Okay, this is creepy. I have to, okay, I'm going to bring this something up that's really creepy, and we're going to kind of end with this because it's getting really late.
So we're back to Puerto Rico. Sorry.
But I'm going to actually end with the shooting thing, with the creepiest thing all day. FEMA's response to Puerto Rico more Herculean than Texas and Florida. Remember how many supplies? 6 months worth of supplies to feed the whole island and to gas them for 6 months? To gas them
Give
up.
them, power and gas and vehicles and whatnot. We got it. They're going to get real gassy. I'm not going down there.
Okay. Former Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services, Tevi Troy, told Breitbart that the FEMA had actually done an even better job managing Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico than it had in dealing with Hurricane Harvey in Texas and in Florida. I have been looking into this pretty carefully. The truth is that FEMA, if you look at this in retrospect, we may find that FEMA did a more Herculean task in some ways in Maria in terms of distance they had to travel, the amount of logistics they had to bring. Remember, outside of Houston, everybody had power. You could go, and everybody had gas outside of Houston.
Right.
So it was really easy to come in and help those specific people. You're on an island. The whole island's without power, no water. And they did an amazing job. And I'm not sure if I didn't have a chance to show you guys, but the Puerto Rican Truckers Union, they had just asked for a raise and they were denied a raise, and so they are on camera in Puerto Rico, on Puerto Rican television, I can bring it up if you want to, saying we're not going to run these trucks and get the supplies to the people until we get $50 an hour, until we get our raise.
Somebody just left that in the comment section.
Thank you. Until we get our raise. And so one of the mainstream media reporters was on the ground. They had so many what do you call them, canisters, containers ready to go. They just needed the trucks to take them, right? And they weren't showing up to work. They weren't showing up to run them. She just kept saying, we have a transportation problem. We have a distribution problem. What she needed to be saying was the truckers aren't here because they aren't allowed to be here because the union won't let them be here. Unions. Okay? In America, you know that every trucker in America would have showed up, said, I'm going to hijack, I'll steal a truck to get, Walmart had canisters there, containers there. The biggest grocery stores in that
everybody is donating to this cause.
They actually needed to get some of the canisters out so that they could get the more in. The supplies were there, the generators were there, the water was there, the food was there. But people like, I'm sorry, the communist mayor in San Juan and the union guys literally care more about their pockets than people starving and without water. Those people, they're not going to meet their maker. Right. Let me just tell you, they're going to meet somebody else. It's just wrong. It is so wrong. It is so wrong. Okay, so why don't you take some things? I'm going to bring up this really creepy video I watched on Alex Jones today with Jimmy Kimmel. Freaked me out, man. So...
guys, I just want to let you know that, like I said earlier, as Leah is pulling up these links, I am dropping them in the description. So if you want to further watch any of this stuff, you can go to the description, and they don't have like titles. You just have to skim through them.
So you want to go through any comments? While
go through any comments. Yes. Let's see. We may need a place for all patriots to meet up when war breaks out. Power numbers, says Gary. Well said. Let's see. Emmanuel says, this is an amazing fake event. The only witness to the shooting is dead. He had no plan to die. The left must stop killing their witnesses. Let's see. There has been a lot of people from Puerto Rico saying the food is there, but the government won't distribute it because they're truck drivers, and we talked about that. Want $50 an hour. Redneck Survivalist says, it's pretty bad down there, ladies. My mom's family is having a tough time. Supplies are there, just no distribution. Thank you for that hands-on
you know what they would do here? They create the Redneck Navy, starts taking trucks and distributing it themselves, right?
Right. Let's see. Mark says, Leah, all the PR stuff is a smear campaign to mess with Trump.
Absolutely.
Trump said the lazy mayor wants government to rebuild everything for her.
Yes. Yes. I'm trying to see if this is which hour. Jimmy Kimmel. Go ahead, keep reading.
I can back up. Let's see. Obviously, because Puerto Rico is an island, it's very, very difficult to get the supplies there. So David reiterated that. I don't know, Otto, if you can drop a link to your channel for Primer Time in the chat. And then I do have a link to your channel, and I can put it in the description later for those of you that want to know. Otto and his brother have and Otto's name, Mike and Nick, they have a show. We were actually on it a couple of weeks ago. It was fantastic, a radio show talking about guns and ammunition and a lot more than just that. Let's see. Puerto Rico government was refusing to deposit USA provided supplies, so media could say that Trump was dropping the ball. And I think that that's true. I think that there was definitely an agenda there for that. Skyman says, what if people don't have guns? Even the sword and hurricane, not legal now. How are we to defend ourselves? My mom loves to talk about the longbow. Get a bow and arrow out. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Corrupt politicians are the worst. Texas governor worked from his wheelchair. Sorry, the comments are going so fast I lost it.
I might have the clip here.
Now, because I'm afraid this little game is over.
Okay, this is creepy to me. Okay, so I was trying to figure out when he did this, because I know Jimmy Kimmel went on this huge rant last night, and he said to every Republican that they're going to have to pray to God because this whole thing is on every Republican's shoulders. Now, Jimmy Kimmel has been hijacked by the deep state. Chucky Schumer has given him talking points on Obamacare. He is the mouthpiece for Hillary Clinton. He's the mouthpiece for Obama. He is the mouthpiece for the left. And I feel like he has been demonically possessed. This is so disturbing to me. Just
for Alex. Now that you had to go and open your big...
Let's see.
Saying this was coming October 1st. And the real launch being November 4th. They have got their people geared up.
Sends its right.
Sorry.
The real pellet gun in his in-studio audience.
So Jimmy Kimmel, he wants to like ban all guns, but he has a security detail who carry guns. He takes 9mm look-alike, that's his pellet gun, and he shoots it in the audience.
Shooting a jar of pickles.
Shooting a jar of
And
pickles.
saying, you know, Alex, you better shut your mouth. Here he is playing with guns while...
If Alex Jones was not a big deal, then that Stephen Colbert guy wouldn't be talking about him all the time. Jimmy Kimmel wouldn't talk about him if he was nothing, right?
With a studio audience, totally dangerous. I never knew that. And on top of it...
Pellet guns can hurt people too, by the way.
On top of it all, while he has up to 6, 7, 8, 9 bodyguards with guns, we have photos of it on Infowars.com. Here it is.
It stops now, because I'm afraid this little game is over, Alex. Now that you had to go and open your big mouth, I have no choice but to kill these pickles.
This is all messages.
The use of these pickles is on you, Alex Jones.
Now, he didn't know this was all a coded message. But I talked to high-level CIA, and that's what that was.
You're saying the new world order sends its regards.
Did you say pelicans or pelicans?
You missed that whole thing. You stopped there in the whole major line.
I'm sorry, go back.
I'm starting.
Fighters holding up the Kurdish YPG flag.
Jeez.
This is on you.
That's right there. That was good.
Leader.
Okay.
On top of it all, while he has up to 6, 7, 8, 9 bodyguards with guns, we have photos of it on
This has been disturbing me all day long.
It stops now, because I'm afraid this little game is over, Alex. Now that you had to go and open your big mouth, I have no choice but to kill these pickles.
This is all messages.
The use of these pickles is on you, Alex Jones.
Now, he didn't know this was all a coded message. But I talked to high-level CIA, and that's what that was.
You're saying the new world order sends its regards.
I guess they did. I guess they did Sunday night, bro.
He said Sunday night. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know when this happened because, dude, if he...
Will is saying that it happened a while back.
Well, here's the thing. This could mean anything.
Right.
The juice of these... I'm serious. I know this sounds silly. The juice of these pickles is on you, Alex Jones. We're coming after you. So, the New World Order, I feel like this whole Antifa thing and everything is tied up in this. I know that Jimmy Kimmel isn't just coming up with this stuff. I know these people meet together. I know that there is a satanic element. I know they meet and they're cult-like people. I know they have hierarchies. I know they have meetings. I know that just like you and I meet on YouTube to talk about taking down the New World Order,
they talk about bringing it up.
Come in and talk about putting up the New World Order. Just Google New World Order and you see Bill Clinton saying New World Order, George Bush Sr. saying New World Order, George Bush Jr. saying New World Order. They're saying we are going to have a whole new outcome. We have the Communist Manifesto. We have the cultural communism. We have the educational system. It's not that these things aren't out there for us to see. And for them to come out and say this, for Jimmy Kimmel to do this clip, it creeped me out, dude. I saw evil in his eyes. Like, seriously, like he was sending a message. So, on that note, we should sing a song.
We should, but actually before we do that, I want to do something really quick. So, you all know one of our favorite moderators is Will Way. Actually, they're all favorites, but or they wouldn't be moderators. He has put together his video of what happened in Vegas. So I'm going to pull this up. And I'm not going to play the whole thing,
169
but I want to give you guys an idea of who Will is.
Route 91, sounded like an automatic firearm.
Because you are all instructed to go and watch it.
169, Sammy, do you have shots fired?
I actually haven't had a chance to watch it because it just came available while we were going.
What's going on, Sammy? He's coming from upstairs. In the Mandalay Bay. Upstairs, Mandalay Bay, halfway up. I see the shots coming from Mandalay Bay. Halfway up. Stroll 3661. Multiple 458 break. Give me a surge. We have an active shooter. We have an active shooter inside the whereabouts.
So.
Joking at 4, send me the active shooter on that.
But I'm going to throw that in the description right now. There it is. So I want you guys to go and subscribe to Will's channel and watch that video, because as soon as I sign off, I'm going to go and watch it. Because it just became available. So crank the video volume down. Sorry. I don't even know how to control.
Hey, at least you can hear it, right?
I have no idea how to control the video output that goes into this. So
I know what song we're going to sing this time.
She has a song.
Never know what song we're going to sing.
And we'll try to get Will on here for an interview at some point, so you guys could do a Skype, so you guys can get to know him. But like I said, I want you guys to go and subscribe to his channel because he's putting out good stuff. So if he has a theory on a second shooter, I'm definitely going to take a look at that too. So I'm really excited to see what Will put together. I'm sure he worked all night long and all day to put that together for you guys. Okay.
We'll do the round.
Do we need a guitar, man?
No, we don't. We can sing it a cappella.
Alright.
So this is Psalm 23, and I was like, Lord, hey, what song should we sing? We're still in the midst of healing as a nation. We're in the midst of a fight, and Michelle and I have a little round. This is Psalm 23. When you don't know what to do, you can sing Amazing Grace, and when you don't know what scripture to go to Psalm 23.
Yeah.
Just remember that. Just remember it over and over again. 2 + 3 is 5. Psalm 23. And it's a 3-person round. But Maddie's not here. He's usually pretty good with it.
Runs away, man.
All right. So, I'm going to start together. We start it together and then we'll break off.
How do we do without the third person?
We're just going to do it.
Mom, you have to come out here and sing it.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Your way, your way, your way, your way, your way, your way, I'll follow your way. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow, Yahweh, Yahweh, I'll follow your way. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, Yahweh, Yahweh, I'll comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup it runneth over. Your way, your way, your way, mercy, they shall follow all the days of your life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord, way, Yahweh, Yahweh, I'll follow your way, your way, Lord. Oh, your turn. Oh, Lord is my shepherd, I shall. Actually, it's just yea, though I walk. Sorry. Cut me off. I know, but that one more. Cut off. He's trying to. All right. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they shall comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies.
cup runneth over. Surely goodness, surely mercy, they shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadows, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they shall comfort me. Your way, Lord. Yahweh, 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 I'll follow your way. Yahweh, 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 my enemies. Thou art my Yahweh, Yahweh, my cup, it runneth over. Surely goodness, surely mercy, they shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. There you go. All right, you guys.
Are you sure you don't want to show them the ex-Muslim video?
Oh yeah, no, let's do that. That's fun.
Yeah.
All right, so for those of you that joined us before, we promised that we would bring this to you. Britt Baza, I don't think he's here tonight. Maybe he is.
He should be sleeping.
He should be sleeping in the UK. Sent this to me. I don't know how he found it. He just said he Googled, or he was searching YouTube for us, and this came up. There's a guy, he's got, I don't know, like 19,000, I know I tweeted it, or I Facebooked it out, whatever you want to call it. There it is. Can you view it on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up.
Okay. Anyway, there's curse words in this. Warning, fair warning, hide your children. There's a 30-second lag.
It's kind of embarrassing for me to watch.
So for all the Christians and right-wingers on this channel.
Okay, so,
this is great.
Fair warning. I'm guessing, because I think I have watched a video. I may have commented on this video. What's interesting is, I guess the Christians, most right-wing people and Christians are on YouTube. There's not a lot of moderate Muslims on YouTube. Let me just put it that way. And so the Christians are trying to turn him to know Jesus, right? Because he's an ex-Muslim. And so it's bothering him to no end. It's like tearing at his soul.
Right.
As it should.
It's great. It's so great.
And he makes him angry. And he's saying that the Christians are trying to hijack the narrative. Now, however, what I want to tell this guy is they're just comments.
Right.
On your video. Hey, guy, guess what? You don't even have to read them. You can let them go. We don't delete anything unless it's like pornified or super vulgar. We let anybody say whatever they want.
Right.
We don't let it get to us. If you want, he says that the Christians have hijacked his narrative. No, buddy. You sit in your little room, in your little house with your little computer.
Your little pink walls.
And your little pink walls, and you can say whatever you want. Nobody's hijacking your narrative. Okay? This isn't even a Facebook page. The comments are there, but you know what, guys? Half the time we can't read them all anyways. We don't go back and read them all. He is obsessed with the comments. It's itching at his soul. Probably because he knows...
We try to read them all. If there's a little heart there, we read it.
Right. I reread them like the next day or the next couple days, but we don't have time to go back to the last ones. So somehow this guy thinks that he's all important. However, in his defense...
He sent people.
He's pretty nice about it.
But there's curse words, guys, I'm telling you.
But what's interesting is he says, my channel might not be for you. Go visit the Resistance Chicks. But here's the thing, guys. We aren't ex-Muslims. We don't know what's going on.
Hang on, though.
Inside.
Exactly. But here's the thing. I don't know how much of our stuff he's watched, but somehow at some point he says an F the brown people or something like that. What he's saying is, we're saying that all the problems in all the world are caused by Muslims. And I'm like, dude, you haven't been watching us. The Muslims are just a puppet. of the New World Order, of Agenda 21. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. You're small fry.
The Federal Reserve and income tax and public schools.
Those are the problems in all the world.
Those are our main problems. We have to cover Islamic terror because I'm sorry, buddy, your ex-religion is blowing people up and stabbing people every day.
Right. However, I felt, pretty fair with our videos and what he shared.
And he wasn't mean about it.
No, and he just said, you know what, this is where y'all people want to go.
I'm going to do you a huge favor. And I'm going to tell you to unsubscribe from this channel and subscribe to a channel called The Resistance Chicks. They're a new channel and they're coming out, and I think they will align with your views a lot better, so you can leave me the fuck alone. You know, and this is a message to all ex-Muslims out there that want to expose Islam, but they're afraid of Christians proselytizing them or taking over the narrative.
Fair enough.
In the comment section. I agree with your fear, because it's true. They try to take control of the narrative. They try to demonize all Muslims across the world and say that they're evil demons, and you know, it sort of aligns with racism in a sense. They'll say Islam is not a race, but the way that they demonize the Muslims, like they were born in the wrong part of the world.
And he says they. And we get racist people in our comment section too.
Oh yeah, all the time.
We ignore them and we decry them. So I don't understand. But anyways, I just skipped a video.
The night has come.
This is even better. Just let it play.
Is dark.
This is so great.
And the moon
I'm glad you did that.
Is the only light we'll see.
He sings
I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid.
Oh, wait, no.
Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Just as long
as you stand.
Sort of similar to what we're talking about here. This guy said it was urgent.
I'm so glad you did that. That was so great.
He needs to know.
How do we go back?
No judgment, bro. No judgment. That's what he said. So for all the Christians and right-wingers, your view's a lot better, so you can leave me the fuck alone.
Oh my gosh.
You know, he sings too. This is a message to all ex-Muslims out there that want to expose Islam, but they're afraid of Christians proselytizing them or taking over the narrative in the comment and say that they're evil.
We were way far.
And they really, really do have a worldview that I just do not agree with. So please,
So he is a commie liberal who believes in abortion.
Let's take a good look at some of the resistance chicks and how they think, oh, Jesus saves us, and fuck those brown people.
But see, I'm pretty sure we never said the F word about brown people.
No.
And I'm pretty sure that we actually never even inferred that sentiment.
And you know what? Sometimes when you're in your own world, you don't really see how other people see you.
Right.
I don't actually think of Muslims as brown people.
No.
The Mexicans to me are the brown people.
Right.
Because the Arabs are just Arab.
Right.
And I don't think of them even as a color.
Right.
Personally, the Mexicans are the brown people, and actually the Spaniards and Italians who get a really good tan are the brown people.
Here's the thing. I just ain't down with the Muslims mostly because they want to like throw gay people off of buildings to kill them, mostly because they persecute Christians, they persecute homosexuals, they persecute Jews,
and
they want to take over the world.
And it's not Muslims, you guys, and I'm gonna have to say this because this is kind of like our little rebuttal.
Islam.
Here's the thing. It's when Islam becomes the government.
Political ideology.
When Islam rules the government, then we have an issue.
Right.
Sharia law is a government that controls people's lives who don't necessarily want to be part of it. The Amish have an enclave of people. And if you don't want to be part of it, you can leave. Yeah. Under Sharia law, you leave, you die. So that
you die.
Yeah. Yes, real Christians, not the progressive, evil, commie,
real Christians.
So here's what they're trying to do. It says religious leaders and their followers played key roles in campaigns to abolish slavery, promote civil rights, and the Vietnam War, among others. Now, what they're trying to say with that spin doctor sentence right there, is that religion itself is the one that pushed all of those three things forward. And I want to tell you what religion itself pushed all those three things forward. It's not just religion. You can't, just because Christianity is a religion doesn't mean that all of a sudden every religion out there gets to be responsible for the fact that they eradicated slavery.
Christians principles which believe that God created everyone equally.
So there you go, you know, there's your channel. That's the channel you want to be on. You don't want to be on this channel, you know.
Is there something wrong with what that we just said?
I don't know. I didn't think we said there.
Who just wants to share his experience and his knowledge of why he left Islam.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to go and try to cleanse me with your bullshit.
All the units, if you see Unitarian, you see Universalist.
He says Unitarians include everyone, but they ain't about that because God. Listen. He knows nothing about Unitarian churches. We went to Plymouth. We know who the Unitarian churches are. They take Jesus out of it. I actually took them out of the Unitarian church in Plymouth, Massachusetts. There is satanic literature.
Like Wiccan.
There's Wiccan and witchcraft because Unitarian means no Jesus, but witchcraft and witches. I mean, seriously, I had to burn the stuff because it was all satanic. Seriously.
Listen, it's not a real church. So they can also help make up this, I don't want to say demographic, but, you know, numbers here. So there's
what's so funny is that I might not be an expert on anything.
I lost those earrings. Those were some of my favorite earrings.
If I am an expert on anything, okay, I'm an expert on Christianity. Okay? I grew up in the church.
That doesn't make you an expert Christian.
No. I grew up in the church. I've been into every denomination. I went to Bible college. I have a degree in evangelism. For an ex-Muslim to tell me what a Unitarian church is like me telling a Muslim what, you know, is what this Arabic thing is. No,
They're trying to use religion as their thing because they see that Christians are a force to be reckoned with. They don't realize that Christians are only a force to be reckoned with
because they have the power of God behind them.
And we get on our knees
and
we believe in love. And here's the thing.
So great.
Because I'm not going to fucking listen to your bullshit, and I just don't care about that. Dislike it all you want. Leave your hater comments so you can get banned. Just say what you want to say. Say what you have to say. I'm not with you. I don't agree with your politics. Islam is taking over the world. Let me get my Marlboro cigarettes.
Marlboro cigarettes?
Can we not finish the rest of this?
Yeah.
Are we in the rest of it?
There's a couple more.
Okay, then go to those.
He's recognized that these are...
Look at the discomfort in their faces, LOL, because it's not godly.
Progressive things. You've got abortion, LGBTQ.
Do we look discomforted?
I'm between illegal immigrants and Muslims in our country.
Sometimes they just have like a face. Like
I have a more balanced political worldview.
He has a more balanced political worldview. So that's funny.
Okay. Well,
you know what?
Hey, you know what?
Takes all kinds.
I'm going to do him one favor. For those of you that are on our channel that can't stand the God stuff, actually, my favor is stay here and get saved.
No, and I want you here. I would never, ever tell anyone to unsubscribe from my channel. I'm grateful that people from all different backgrounds,
we have transgenders,
and all different
we have
views
atheists,
are on
we
our
have
channel.
Agnostics. We have people from all over the spectrum, and what I really appreciate about you guys as our viewers is that you come to us and you are able to chuck the things that you don't want to hear, the godly stuff, and take the stuff that you do like. You will actually contribute to the channel. We take a lot of the things that you guys say and we research them. We are a family here.
You are a kaleidoscope of people.
Right.
And guess what? It doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter what your religion is.
Right. We're here to take down the deep state.
Exactly.
And so to me, it doesn't matter what your background is, what your belief system is.
The more wide-ranging people that watch our channel, the better. I get so excited when somebody says, I'm on the left, but I like your channel. Or, you know, I don't think we've had any Muslims watch our channel.
What does that say about
him and his tolerance?
He just has to be so, I mean, he just can't.
Right.
And in all honesty, it is very difficult to read negative comments that are put at you. But when you aren't a Christian and people say things about God around you, it does kind of sting. It burns because it's the truth. And so it's very difficult for him
saying things in love
to hear. Well, I don't know. Some of them maybe kind of.
But some of them are probably saying things in love.
Right.
I actually looked at his comments afterwards. And people are like, oh, well, I like your channel. I'm going to still keep praying for you.
Yeah, but that probably really bothers him. He doesn't want those people on his channel, which is very strange to me. Because
wouldn't you want to reach those people?
If I have a message, yeah.
Wouldn't you want to reach anybody with your message?
Right.
But what he's saying is that he doesn't want Christians to take and hijack the negative things about Islam.
Right.
And then say Christianity's awesome. Because it's not, is what he's saying.
So here's the thing. Anybody that has come to our channel because he sent you here, you are welcome at Resistance Chicks.
Everyone's welcome here. As long as you treat people with honor and respect,
right?
Everyone is welcome here.
Now, okay, so Alex Jones often pats himself on the back, and I think to myself, who does that? Like, that's very strange to me, okay? However, I'm not going to take glory for this at all. I'm just not. But we have some of the most amazing people in our comment section. We don't have a channel where we have to deal with very much negativity. By and large, it's a very rare thing. I know you guys know it in the live chat especially. We don't have a lot of arguments. We don't have bickering. So what does that say about Leah and I and the message that we are putting forward, that we tend to attract the very best of people? You guys are the very best of YouTube on Resistance Chicks. I have to say, I don't care if you're going to Alex Jones, all these other channels, they still manage to attract the scum of the earth on their channel. We don't have much scum that we have attracted.
No, you guys
are the best of the best.
So we bring up Hugh Hefner and everybody's like, yeah, he's a retard, he's a pervert. I'm just like, wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, talk about the Federal Reserve. I know that. Talk about education. I know that. I'm like, well, are we just preaching to the choir?
We are preaching to the converted, and that's okay. Like I said, we have the best of the best on YouTube, and you guys challenge us to go and research things, and you send us links. Speaking of which, if you want to contact us, you can send us snail mail at Resistance Chicks, P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio 45150. We can read your letters on air. You can actually email us. I don't usually say the email address out loud, but I try to always put it in the description section. It's massfaith33 at gmail.com. So MASFAITH33 at gmail.com.
Today's been so good.
Like, comment, subscribe to this channel, which is MassFaith3, and our other channel, Resistance Chicks, just in case one ever goes haywire. We have both, and you're subscribed there. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory. If it's the truth.
I got 2 dogs under here.
So hopefully this story will continue to come out, right? Yeah. And we'll bring you more details as that happens. Please go and watch Will's video. We're going to see what he has to say and what he has put together. Like I said, I think I did put that in the bottom. I'm actually going to put Will's video above it so you guys know exactly how to find it.
Oh, Sydney.
So I think that wraps up all that we have for today.
We got dogs to do. We got to go.
We have a dog that we need to let out to go potty. Gotta go. All right. Thank you, all the moderators that were here tonight. I'm not going to mention you because we have to go off. You know who you are. We love you. You guys are fantastic.
God loves you. God bless.
God loves you. God bless.
I think that I like my camera better.
Okay, but
I'm thinking that this HD is like too much.